The reason my lesson with Mooji on meditation has impacted me so much is that he teaches in such an effortless and convivial way. Are you aware of Mooji? He's a Jamaican English man, teacher, although he would probably say that he is transcendent of such labels from a spiritual as opposed to cultural perspective, because when I spoke to him in my podcast Under the Skin from Luminary, he talked about how I talked to him about his past. Mooji, his sister, was sadly mortally injured in police custody in the 1980s, an event that contributed, if not indeed ignited, the notorious Brixton riots in Britain. When I talk to him about that sort of time, he says he feels he has no grip on him. He lives entirely in the present. He didn't say that in a dismissive way. Neither did he disown, for example, ideas and imperatives towards justice. It seemed to me, at least, having spoken to Mooji, that his connection to an aspect of transcendent consciousness is so clear, so real, that he's been liberated from the grip of that kind of negative emotional attachment. Now, the meditation that he did with me, we put it out and everything, you should have a look at it, and I've seen Mooji do it elsewhere on YouTube, etc. is brilliant. He said to me, imagine now, he said, close your eyes. In fact, he didn't say close your eyes, I just closed it because it was a meditation and I thought, might as well close them. Do you try to meditate with your eyes open sometimes? It's difficult. I mean, meditation is challenging enough. The typical challenge, of course, is that you're thinking. Now, both in transcendental meditation, which I learned from the David Lynch Foundation, and from Mooji's meditation, they both of these techniques emphasize effortlessness. I closed my eyes with Mooji instinctively, and he said, imagine that there was no one else in the world. Well, baby, that's how I live my life. That's me anyway. Now imagine there's no one else in the world, that you're the only person in the world. Just for this moment, put aside all of your relationships, all of your connections, all of your fears or hopes for the future, all of your regrets about the past or pride from the past. You can pick it up again later, but for now, put it down. This slow coaxing, this gradual recognition that in the moment when your eyes are closed, the only thing that is real is your awareness of the thoughts, memories, recollections and projections, all of which ultimately qualify as concepts. This is what Mooji says frequently. You are more than a container for concepts. You are more than a vessel for ideas. Eckhart Tolle similarly says you can never be happy in the conceptual mind. The conceptual mind always leads to comparison, always leads to desire. So Mooji deposited me in this place of awareness by helping me to understand it, or talking me to a point where even as just a mental exercise, I could accept all that's real in this moment is my awareness. Once there, in this state of awareness, Mooji asked me a series of questions about the sensation or feeling or experience of this awareness. Could this awareness ever end? Did it have a beginning? Is there anywhere it's not? What distance are you from this awareness? What this gave me was a practical experience, and I asked for clarification on this point subsequently, of the idea of God. I said to Mooji, do you believe this state of awareness? Because he said at one point to me, he goes, when you go to the seat of your awareness, are you a person there? If you go back, there's a point in your own awareness where you can recede, where you think, yeah, I'm not really my identity, I'm not really my body, I'm not really my beliefs. Of course, culturally and biologically, we are our bodies, but the awareness is not the foot. The awareness is not my memories of Essex or, West Ham or vegetarianism or subsequent acquisitions or previous recollections. These are held in concept. So he got me into this place of awareness, and when I was accessing that awareness, it made me feel that there is such a thing as impersonal consciousness that we all individually access, that all of us have access to it. Ultimately, in spite of our diversity, uniqueness and difference, there is a point within us all where we are all identical, where we are all indeed not identical, one. it made me realise that even the vast metrics, the vast containers of the physical universe, space and time, are minute and conceptual and conditional, by which I mean from a scientific perspective, like the theory of general relativity means that there is a degree of non-specificity in motion and space and time. And once you accept that, then you have to recognize that these concepts are not absolute. It made me feel that when we talk of dark matter and dark energy, this is where we interface even in the physical and sensual realm with the unknowable. Getting to a point where your life is not about what you want, what you need, whether that's a cup of tea or to be the President of the United States of America, to get to a point where you realise that even if you are the President of the United States of America, that you are simply a point of awareness experiencing reality. There is great liberation in this. My belief is that if more of us have a connection to this awareness, the world will change. I'm like you. I'm caught up in my phone, in my desires, in my wants, in my family, in my fears, in my body, in what other people think of me, in what I crave, in satisfaction, in comfort, in cynicism. All sorts of things pass through me. But what Mooji showed me, and what we can learn from meditation more broadly, is that we are the point of awareness that experiences sadness. We are the point of awareness that experiences thought. In the conversation we had, he said, okay, just watch your thoughts. So I watched my thoughts in that moment. And sadness came. I felt sort of sad, and unresolved sadness was there. And then he said, yeah, but continue. Just observe the sadness. I did so, and I felt some liberation. And certainly under the tutelage of I suppose, a master like Mooji, I was brought to a point of awakening. I feel that many of us go through life enacting in our relationships the unresolved dramas that we hold in our psyche as a result of childhood trauma, social conditioning, education, familial difficulty. And one way of resolving it, as well as perhaps pharmaceutical or therapeutic means, a way that is accessible to all of us, is the spiritual path, the path of surrendering who we are moment by moment, recognizing that there is a spiritual dimension to our life, to be aware, to be conscious, to be awake. This is the spiritual life. Where is God? What is God then? God is the awareness itself. God is all. And all the things that we apply ethical and moral barometers to, well, why is this happening? Why is that happening? Mere fluctuations on the surface of the gross and material plane, while deep, deep down, oneness, beyond oneness, non-separateness, absoluteness, no future, no past, no space. All metrics that require an individualistic, animalistic perspective to exist. Remove that, just the oneness. If you meditate, you will experience this. Have a look at the Mooji video, or indeed listen to the entire podcast from Luminary to get a clearer, better, more thorough perspective on this issue.